At some stage I recall my parents saying that Pepe and Poldi were getting divorced, and they didn't seem particularly surprised. Uncle Pepe remarried the following year. Then he died, and we lost touch with Poldi. A few years later, we heard from Aunt Teresa that Poldi had bought a house in Tanzania, but that was pretty much all anyone knew. And then, out of the blue, Poldi reappeared in Munich. Having inherited her parents' small house, she sold up, burnt all her bridges, and on her 60th birthday moved to Torre Achirafi, a peaceful little town on the east coast of Sicily between Catania and Taormina, intending to drink herself to death in comfort within sight of the sea. Suicide with a sea view was her plan. Nobody quite knew why. All my aunts did know was that someone had to do something about it, and someone included me, because in their view I was as good as unemployed. Thereafter I flew to Sicily to spend 1 week a month in Poldi's guest room at number 29 Via Baronessa, working on my family epic and helping to dispose of her liquor supplies. Although in the past few months Poldi had temporarily thwarted death thanks to solving her handyman Valentino's murder, her romantic encounter with Vito Montana, Polizia di Stato's chief inspector in charge of homicide cases, her friendship with her neighbours Valerie and sad Signora Cocuzza, my aunt's efforts, and last but not least, her own love of the chase. We all know the way of the world. Peace reigns for a while, the worst seems to be over, the sun breaks through the clouds, the future beckons once more, your cigarette suddenly tastes good again, the air hums with life, and the whole world becomes a congenial place pervaded by whispers of great things to come. A simply wonderful, universally familiar sensation. And then, like a bolt from the blue, pow! Not that anyone has seen it coming, but the wind changes. Fate empties a bucket of excrement over your head, chuckling as it does so, and all you can think is, wow, now I really need a drink, and the whole shitty process starts again from scratch. So it was no wonder my aunts became rather alarmed when Poldi still had no running water after 2 weeks and Lady was murdered. No doubt about it. The wind had changed, and the ice was growing steadily thinner. "You must come," Aunt Louisa told me on the phone. "Right away." I tried to wriggle out of it. "I can't," I said. "I'm working on an ultra-urgent pitch for TV, a pre-watershed parental guidance thriller. Not my genre exactly, but it could be a slam dunk." "Just a moment." With a sigh, Louisa handed the receiver to her sister Teresa, who's the boss in our family. It was obvious what that meant. Game over. I heard Louisa whisper something in Italian, then the gentle, still youthful voice of my Aunt Teresa. "How are you, tesoro? Making progress with your novel?" I might have known. "I'm getting on pretty well," I prevaricated. "The first chapter's as good as finished. All I need is a bit of—" "You're frittering your time away," Aunt Teresa told me gently. "What you need is to concentrate on essentials." She had a point. "And you could keep an eye on Poldi at the same time." I said nothing, and Aunt Teresa switched to Italian, the invariable sign that a storm was brewing. "She's fond of you, you know." "Eh?" "She is, for some reason. We often talk about you." "In what way?" I asked suspiciously. Aunt Teresa didn't pursue the matter. "This television thing. Is it very important to you?" Direct hit. Hold below the waterline. I landed at Catania at lunchtime next day, was regaled by Teresa with spaghetti al nero di seppia, and meekly answered all the aunt's inquiries about the welfare of the family members in Germany. That evening I was back on the sofa in my Auntie Poldi's house in Torre Achirafi, and the strangest thing was, I felt thoroughly at home, and far closer to my mess of a family saga than I had for a long time. "You're developing a little tummy," was the first thing Poldi said when she came to the door. "Thanks a lot. I'm glad you're glad I'm here again."